a question for you at 8:10 on a Wednesday morning. How do you feel about taking a nap in the afternoon at work with your boss's approval? Well, today you might like to know is National Siesta Day, so pressurise your boss when you get into work today because it's an official opportunity to snooze in the daytime and not feel guilty. Here's Amanda Sargent.
Sir Winston Churchill, Napoleon Bonaparte, Albert Einstein and Bill Clinton. What do these great minds have in common? They were or are lovers of the siesta, but having 40 winks after lunch in the UK isn't really the done thing. Some more enlightened countries, though, are having machines like this put in their offices. This is the OV. It's a sleep and relaxation pod where you can chill out, be private and even listen to music. And you would seriously put one of these in the corner of the office?
Yeah, I mean, in a busy office, there's nothing better than have somewhere to go where you can actually be by yourself and relax.
But do you think British bosses would be keen on this?
I think they're starting to, see it as a great idea.
So, should we have a siesta?
Be nice, but not not practical.
Be fantastic. Just what I'd need. Be fantastic. My children do it, so I should.
Now, the only snag with this machine is that it costs £50,000. So don't think the bosses at GMTV will be buying one anytime soon. But I'm going to test it out. I'll let you know just how comfy it is later on.
Well, I can tell you now, she really enjoyed her experience in there. She was in there for about 10 minutes and loved it, despite the fact that she thought she wouldn't. Let's talk to Noel Kingsley now. He is the man behind National Siesta Day.
Good morning.
Morning, Noel. Why?
Well, I've done it myself for over 20 years, and in my practice as an Alexander Technique teacher, where I help people with their posture, people often say, oh, I'd love to do what you do. I'd love to have a nap, but the boss won't allow it, or the culture doesn't allow for it either. Yeah. And I thought, well, this is crazy because we've got British culture getting in the way of health, because there's so much research from NASA, the Space Agency, and Harvard University showing that we can be up to 100% more alert, 30% more productive, and we can reduce the risk of heart disease by 34%.
And this is just by taking a 20-minute nap? 10
to 20 minutes. The thing is to avoid going longer than half an hour, because then you'll feel groggy and you get into a very deep part of your sleep, so avoid that.
And then you have to wake up and you feel really low mood, everything, don't you?
Yeah,
so
keep it to 10 or 20 minutes and have a glass of water, splash your face and have a bit of chocolate,
Oh, sounds lovely. Oh, oh, it's TV.
Hello, welcome to LK Today. Sorry, Lorraine can't be with you today.
What are you doing? He works.
Earning me money.
I'm very sorry about that. This man comes in the morning, works for 5 minutes, and then sleeps for 15. There he is. Has it worked for you? Are you feeling powerful
No, I'm still spent. Do you know what? I do take a 20-minute nap, and if there isn't a bed available, I usually go to a toilet cubicle, and you get 2 toilet rolls together wrapped in, makes an ideal pillow. Have I said too much already?
Oh, your dirty habits. You don't need to share them with us. Thank you. Go back to sleep. Thank you.
Thanks,
well, clearly it hasn't worked for him, but then, he's an odd case. But listen, you said you're your own boss, you see, Noel, aren't you? So it's easy for you to take a 20-minute nap.
It's very easy for me.
And with the hours we work, sometimes we can do that, can't we? But for a lot of people who work a 9 till 5 or now a 9 till 7 or an 8 till 7 because working hours are getting longer, they can't do that.
No, we're going to have to be creative in this country. We're not set up for it, and the British culture is stiff upper lip, muscle on, have another cup of coffee. But of course that only increases adrenaline levels and increases the risk of heart disease.
But you are battling against this culture thing. Alison's texted in, she says, siesta, I'd just like a lunch break. Jackie says their boss sleeps at his desk every day and still wakes up in a bad mood, and she says he snores really loudly as well.
Well, we don't want to take away from productivity on the shop floor or in the office. I mean, we are all due a half-hour break for every 40 minutes, every 4 hours we work, and it's up to us to take that. I mean, many people work at their desk and have a quick sandwich, but if we can decide that we are going to give ourselves just a 10-minute nap after we've eaten, we'll be so much more refreshed. And where there's a demand, as more and more people do it, because it's a bodily need. I mean, we are biphasic, needing 2 periods of sleep in a 24-hour period, just like any cat, lion, cheetah, dog or horse. Where there's a demand, we will be provided for. Businesses will provide it. They will encourage it during lunch breaks.
And as you say, it's good for your health. I mean, it must be good for your immune system, everything. Saving the NHS money as well.
It does indeed. And if you think back over 10 or 20 years, we didn't have wheelchair access for buildings, and now look at us, it's a legal requirement.
Yeah.
We
so
can function.
Change can happen.
There will be reduced queues at the NHS, I feel, because of the reduced risk of heart disease and stress. Yeah. There's a significant difference.
All right, Noel. Now, well, you certainly look healthy on it, and you look happy too, which is nice. So if you're feeling a bit sleepy this lunchtime, here's Dr. Hilary with some tips on keeping alert. Here he is.
Nodding off in a hot summer's afternoon in the office, well, I know the feeling. So what do? Do we have a short burst of energy from the chemicals in a chocolate bar or from the caffeine in coffee? Well, no we don't. That's just a short-lived thing. What do we do to stay awake in the afternoon? The best thing of all is to get off your bottom and get some physical exercise, even if it only means taking the stairs. This boosts level of the stress hormones, which keeps your brain active. Avoid a big stodgy lunch like this. This is probably nature's greatest sedative. Instead, go for a little fresh fruit and some salad. Finally, get outside. The sunlight wakes you up and the fresh air cools you down.
He looks fit, doesn't
He does. I like the idea that we're biphasic. I didn't realise that. No, I like that term.
Yes, it's, we need 2 periods of sleep. The major one at night time, where we go through 4 or 5 sleep cycles of 90 minutes at a time, going from phase 1, 2, 3, 4, getting deeper, then rapid eye movement, and then raise back up to level 2 again, then we sink down. We go through this about 4 or 5 times a night. But in the early afternoon, around about 8 hours after we get up in the morning,
we should have another one.
We get another dip in energy levels. And what we're saying is, let's acknowledge that. It's not a weakness at all. If we can have strength by saying, I'm going to look after myself, I'm going to have a quick nap and do a better job in the afternoon.
Terry, who's a driving instructor in Blackburn, I'm a driving instructor, quite often have a nap between lessons, highly recommended, as long as it's between lessons, Terry, not while you're doing the lessons. Imagine.
No, I can't, but that you do get that awful thing when you're driving sometimes, don't you? When you do what Hilary did there, where you're driving along and you suddenly go...
It is terrifying if you've been
and then you feel you've swerved
really
over it.
That's when you need to pull over and have a nap.
When you need to pull over.
Thank you very much. Now then, there was an audacious raid at a beautiful castle in Cheshire.